The combat ring aboard the ISV Ironvale was not built for humans. That much was obvious the moment Mara Ellison stepped through the blast door and looked up, way up, at the towering hexagonal arena. The walls were reinforced with impact-absorbing polymers rated for forces that would liquefy a standard human skeleton. The floor was made from a material she'd never seen before, something between rubber and stone, designed to absorb the kinetic impact of creatures that could bench-press hover tanks. Spectator rails were mounted 12 feet high, because the default sparring combatant could jump that without trying. Mara stood 5'6" in her boots. She weighed 62 kilograms soaking wet. She cracked her knuckles and smiled. Private Ellison. Commander Cale Veron's voice rolled across the ring like a thunderstorm announcing itself. He descended from the elevated observation platform with the unhurried ease of a predator who had never once needed to rush. He was Veiltheri, 7 feet of gray-blue muscle wrapped in a military uniform that somehow made him look more dangerous, not less. His secondary set of arms were folded behind his back. His primary arms hung loose at his sides. For amber eyes assessed her the way a geologist might assess a pebble. Commander. She gave a crisp salute. You requested formal combat evaluation. It wasn't quite a question. It wasn't quite a statement either. It lived somewhere in the space between disbelief and mild contempt. Against me. That's correct, sir. The silence stretched. Around the ring, a small cluster of soldiers had gathered, 3 Veiltheri, a Keth 7, and 2 other humans from Mara's unit, Joe and Many. Joe was already wincing in preemptive sympathy. Many had her arms crossed and a look on her face that said I believe in you and please don't die at the same time. Commander Veron tilted his head. Private. I have been conducting combat evaluation for 37 years. I have sparred with Kreth warriors, DI shock troopers, high-class sentinel constructs, and Waborn battle clergy. He paused. I have never once been asked to spar by a human who outweighed 100 kilograms. I'm from Earth, sir. Yes. His 4 eyes blinked in staggered sequence, a Veiltheri expression she'd learned meant I know, and I'm not sure it changes anything. I am aware. Then you know what that means. Another pause. Then, slowly, Commander Veron unfolded his secondary arms. All 4 hands flexed, one after another, like a pianist warming up for something complicated. The watching soldiers took an instinctive half-step back from the rail. It means, he said, that you survived a planet that kills most things that try to live on it. Every day, she agreed pleasantly. It does not mean you can survive me, Private. She tilted her head. Not asking for survival, sir. Asking for the evaluation. He studied her for a long moment. Then he walked to the center of the ring and turned to face her with his 4 arms loose and ready. No mercy, he said. Those are the terms. You requested formal evaluation. Formal evaluation means I do not pull my strikes for species fragility. If you cannot handle what I bring, you tap the floor twice. Understood? Mara walked to her mark. Understood, sir. This will be brief. Yes, sir, she said. It will. He came at her fast. Faster than the watching Veiltheri soldiers expected. They'd assumed he would test her first, probe her footwork, feel out her reactions. But Veron had conducted enough evaluations to know that hesitation was its own form of disrespect. She'd asked for no mercy. He gave her none. His first strike was a low sweep, designed to take her legs out. Clean, efficient, with the force of a creature who could crack Durasteel plating with a casual backhand. She wasn't there. Not because she dodged elegantly. Not because she had some exotic alien training. She moved the way things from Earth moved, with an instinct drilled into the cellular level by 4 billion years of life on a planet that wanted to eat her. Fast. Ugly. Practical. She dropped her center of gravity and rolled under his sweep, coming up inside his guard where his massive reach became a liability rather than an asset. She hit him twice in the ribs. Fast jabs, no wind-up. To his credit, he didn't flinch. Veiltheri bone density made her knuckles scream. But he felt them. He registered them. His amber eyes recalibrated. He backed off a step. Reassessed. Good, Mara thought. Now we're sparring. The next exchange lasted 40 seconds. He was testing her, she could feel it, the measured way he cycled through his strike patterns, reading her responses. He was clinical. Professional. He threw techniques at her the way a diagnostician runs tests. She survived all of them. Not cleanly. She took a glancing blow across her left shoulder that made the entire arm go white with pain. She took a grab to her right wrist that she had to torque against to break, and the torque cost her something she'd feel for a week. But she didn't go down. She adjusted. She answered. Joe and Manny had stopped wincing. They were leaning forward now, white-knuckled on the rail. She's reading him, Joe whispered. She's from Deathworld, Manny murmured back, like that explained everything. Because it did. It explained everything. The moment Veyron decided to stop testing her was visible, a subtle shift in his posture, a drop in his secondary shoulder joints. He'd seen enough. He knew what she was. He came in with his full weight behind a double-arm combination that had, in 37 years of combat instruction, never failed to put an opponent on the floor. Mara didn't try to block it. Blocking that was physics she couldn't win. Instead she stepped into it, inside the arc where the force hadn't fully developed, grabbed his forward wrist with both hands, pivoted hard, and used the full rotational momentum of his own strike to redirect him sideways. He was massive. That meant his own mass worked against him the moment his balance was broken. He stumbled. One knee hit the floor. The ring went absolutely silent. Commander Kale Veyron, combat instructor first class, holder of the Veiltheri Star of Discipline, 37-year undefeated record in formal evaluation sparring, was on one knee. Mara stood 3 feet away. Her left arm was hanging slightly wrong. There was blood on her lip from a strike she'd barely slipped. Her chest was heaving. She did not move to press the advantage. That wasn't what this was. Sir, she said. He rose slowly. Turned to face her. His expression was unreadable at first. Then, gradually, something shifted in those 4 amber eyes. Not embarrassment. Not anger. Recognition. Where, he said, did you learn that redirection technique? I didn't, she said. I made it up. Right now. The silence returned. Held. Then Commander Veyron did something none of the watching soldiers had ever seen him do in the middle of a formal evaluation. He laughed. It was a short sound, sharp and genuine, like something surprised out of him against his will. He pressed the back of one hand against his mouth and looked at her with something that had evolved past assessment into something closer to respect. You're from Earth, he said. Not the way he'd said it before. This time it carried weight. Yes, sir. The gravity. The predators. He seemed to be recataloguing her in real time. Your bone density is higher than standard human baseline. Earthborn humans, we compress a little denser. Lower muscle fiber but higher tendon tensility. Our nervous systems are tuned for, she paused, searching for the Veiltheri word. For threat-first processing. Fear, he translated. Respect, she corrected. For anything that can kill you. He was quiet for a long moment. Then he straightened to his full height, rolled his primary shoulders, and looked at her the way he had not looked at anyone in a very long time, as an equal. Private Mara Ellison. His voice had changed. The thunder was still there, but something warmer ran underneath it now. Combat evaluation, passed. With commendation. He glanced at the watching soldiers, then back at her. Effective immediately, you are reassigned to my Advanced Combat Integration Program. Mara blinked. Sir? You are going to teach my soldiers, he said, what it means to fight like something that never had the luxury of giving up. She felt the words land somewhere deep. Somewhere that knew exactly what he meant. She snapped a salute, sharp, precise, the kind that meant it. Yes, Commander. Behind her, she heard many let out a long, shaking breath. She heard Joe say something that sounded a lot like "I told you." She heard the Keth 7 soldier at the rail click its mandibles together in what she'd come to understand was impressed disbelief. Commander Veyron turned to go. Then paused. Your shoulder, he said without looking back. Medical bay. Now. After I fill out the evaluation paperwork, sir. A beat. After the paperwork, he agreed. And somewhere in the set of his massive shoulders as he walked away, Mara Ellison, girl from a Deathworld, born under 2.5 times standard gravity, raised on a planet that had spent 4 billion years trying to kill her kind and failed, could have sworn she saw something that looked a great deal like pride. Humanity. We don't tap out. We just adapt.